Ah, it's a nice, lovely day here. It's almost 30 degrees, light breeze. Perfect day to cover this unit. So you may have seen it. I think I may have done a video on it. I can't remember if I posted it. I think I did a short on it. This is my 1974 Massey Ferguson 750 combine with the 1859 18-foot bean head. Why am I making this video? So I've got this combine. Obviously, I don't think you've ever seen any indication that I farm. I certainly don't have enough land to farm, considering we have about, I want to say we have 11 acres, seven and a half of that is land that we can mow. So I don't think we have enough land to justify a combine. So why on earth did I have this? Well, it was I was at an auction and it sold for a price that I could stomach, and so I bought it. And here it is. Drove it 4 hours home at 14 miles an hour, since obviously it's a little big to go on my trailer, which is right next to it. It is 21,000 pounds of steel, 118 horsepower diesel engine. Runs great. Obviously drove it home, and yeah, runs great. No problems with it whatsoever. But I tried to sell it this fall. No dice. I bought it in August, tried to sell it in fall, no dice. And so now I'm left wondering what I can do with it. Now, I bought it for several reasons. One, maybe I could make a little bit of money, but two, I wanted to figure out more about combines. Since then, I have learned a tremendous amount about combines, because once you have it, I'm a very hands-on learner. So once you have one, you can start studying about them. I've learned all kinds of good stuff about combines, and I also know why, or I have a feeling I know why, this combine has not sold. It's got two things going against it. One, it's old, obviously, which is not a huge deal. It would be cheap horsepower and processing capabilities. But two, it is a gear drive transmission. It is not hydrostatic. Hydrostatic combines, typically it seems like they would go for a lot more money as compared to gear-driven combines. So, like I said, this does have a clutch. If you look right there, I'll pull down on the clutch pedal. See the clutch there running, and then you can see the transmission right there. It's a little box thing right there in front of you, and then the drive shafts going out to each final drive. Now, the really cool thing is I do have these awesome 24.5 by 32 Goodyear tires. They obviously have some weather checking, and they've got corn stubble damage and stuff like that, but they're still awesome tires. And certainly worth something. I think all total I have about $1,500 in this combine, probably a little bit less than that, so I can't really complain about the cost. When I bought it, it probably would scrap out for that, but now I think it's probably worth $700 in scrap, just based on weight. But the really cool thing about this combine is you can figure out how it works. And I'm still working on doing that. I'll actually come out here. I've been coming out here for a number of months now, and I'll come out here and just stare at it and figure out how things work. Occasionally, prior to it getting cold, I would actually just sit here and turn it on and watch it run, and figure out what did what and play around with it a little bit. Can't necessarily I don't have anything to combine, but I mean, when you get back in there, let me make sure that you can see stuff. But all the pulleys and everything. I mean, just the fact that they can design this, and the new ones are even larger and probably more complicated, it's just really impressive to me. So it's one of those things that it's worth the $1,500 in education to me of watching this thing run. Obviously, it's got a lot of wear on it. It last ran to do harvesting in 2015 or 2016. Hasn't really won much since then, but you can tell that the sprockets have wear on them. So I mean, it's got a lot of hours on it, but it still runs great. These things, the cylinders have been sitting there since November. That's the last time it was run. It's been sitting there since about mid-November and have not leaked down or anything. So I mean, I think the hydraulic system's still tight. We got lots of parts on this thing. So the reason I'm making this video is I don't know what to do with it. I think I'm going to part it out. I think I already said that, maybe, can't remember. But if anybody has any good ideas, I am all ears. The first thought, which actually is a really cool video that was posted in early January, I think a couple weeks ago now, like right after the first, maybe the end of December, where they took a combine and turned it into a snowblower. And that's, lots of farmers have done that. Really, really cool idea. This thing has two strikes against it. It's a larger frame, so you'd have to find a 12-foot plus wide blower, because there's no way to narrow the frame up, because it has final drives and axle. The fabrication work involved with that is just it's beyond my skill level to do. And also the fact that it's a gear drive transmission, and the gear selectors go all the way up and into the cab right there. If you can see them right there, those bars that stick out right there, there's two of them. So it's not your traditional style, very unique set of how you shift and everything. So it is what it is. It's not a good candidate for doing anything along those lines. There are lots of parts that I'm going to pull off here and try to sell to at least recoup some of my money back, now that I'm kind of done with it. And in fact, it didn't sell. I mean, obviously I tried to sell it whole after I had a little fun with it. I'm going to use this diesel tank, most likely. I'm going to use this for my military 15 kilowatt, my MEP 804, if you've ever seen videos on that. Probably build a trailer. I might try to build a trailer out of this frame. I don't have a good way to do it, but we can figure something out. Got some awesome rear tires here. I believe those are, yeah, those are Firestones. They're Firestone. I don't see the size on them. 14L 16.1 8 plies. But yeah, we got a steering system that we can use. We've got a rear axle that we can use. We've got all kinds of parts here. The straw chopper in the back, which is that unit right there. I got a couple people interested in that, so probably I'll pull that off here pretty soon and put it on Facebook and just see what's happening. But I got all kinds of sheet metal that I can use. We'll go up in the cab. But it's like all of these plates up here, you can walk on those. We'll go ahead and look at the engine. So in here, you've got 118 horsepower Perkins diesel, 372 Perkins diesel. It'd be better if it had the 354, but this is an older unit. So, you know, we don't have the 354 with the turbo on it. Instead, we've got the 372. Got a 3-spool hydraulic cylinder over there if we need it. We've got radiator. We've got hydraulic pumps. We got a cab. We got our grain tank. We got all kinds of augers and bearings and whatnot that we could do, that we could use. I'm going to set you down. This is what my wife would say: if you fell, it serves you right for buying a combine. Because I think you can figure out that she was not thrilled when I bought it. So in the cab here, it's a really nice, cozy cab. It actually has air conditioning, but many years ago it started leaking and they didn't fix it. But the compressor's still on here. So control-wise, here are those gear shifts, really funky gear shift pattern. So it's not necessarily the easiest to modify in terms of gears, but you got your clutch, you got your brakes, gear shifts, up, down for the basically the feeder house or the header. You got your ground speed, so it is a variable speed even though it's a gear driven transmission. It has a hydraulic cylinder that makes it a variable speed. Up, down on the reel, so if you want to get the reel lower to the ground, you have reel variable speed. That's a system I'll probably take off and try to sell. Stop, throttle. And you got your gauges. This is not an RPM gauge for the engine, it's an RPM gauge for the threshing system, so to speak. Engine oil pressure, amps, water. You've got your basically PTO engagement right there. Got some controls for the combine. And then over here, you've got your push down to engage the PTO for the auger. And you twist in and twist basically you twist it one way or the other for the hydraulic valve to extend or retract the auger. Really nice cab. I mean, for 1974, you know, air conditioning, heat, the blower does work. You know, just no problems whatsoever there. It's just a matter of, you know, I don't know what to do with it. So if you have any suggestions, I will certainly take them. Tons of parts here, tons of bearings. Probably what I'll do is as I take it apart, I will scrap the parts that don't make sense. Use the plasma cutter that I put a video out on the plasma cutter a month ago or so ago. Use a plasma cutter to cut some, like these, those lids for the engine cover. I mean, those are great steel right there that we can use to do something with, along with all the other steel on this thing. You know, so there's tons and tons and tons of possibilities. I'm not feeling real creative about what I can do with everything. The first thing I'm going to do this spring is I'm going to take the header off, take the header apart. If you think it would be good content while I do that, while I tear everything apart, if you want me to make videos of that, I certainly can. I don't necessarily know if they would be that popular, but I can certainly try to do my best to explain what I'm doing and while I'm taking stuff apart and trying to figure out how things work. That's one of the reasons I'm doing it as well. So questions, comments, ideas, leave them below. Thanks for watching. Okay, I'm about to obligate myself to like 20 minutes of pain once I get this thing started up. But let's see if we can actually start it. Well, that doesn't work. I assume it needs ether. Well, that doesn't work either. See how that works. Ready? There we go, it runs. Started a little bit better than I expect, considering it hadn't run since November, and it's been very cold here. So now I gotta let it sit here and run. But hey, at least we did a cold start on it, and you got to see it start cold. So we got a good running engine. I just don't know what to do with a 118 horsepower engine. Key thing with that engine though is it's about 8 feet, 9 feet in the air. I don't know how to get it out of there, so we'll have to work on that some. But your guess is as good as mine. Thanks for watching.